what you say.
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did, what you say.
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best podcast.
What you say.
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I thought we both decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to What You Say, NOC podcast. My name is Elyse Daly.
And I am Scott Daly.
And together,
we're the Dailies. Yes, this is the podcast where most weeks we talk all about the hit 2000s teen drama, The OC, episode by episode, but not this week. This week, we're doing something a little different. What are we doing, Elyse?
You're right, Scott. This week we're not talking about the OC. This week we're going to be talking about LD. We're going to be talking about our son.
The baby,
Logan.
Our son.
Daly.
He was born. That's why we haven't been doing our show lately, because a baby came out of you.
Yeah.
And so we've been a little busy.
I've been taking maternity leave.
But we thought it would be
fun.
fun.
Do I get paid maternity leave for doof?
No, we don't have paid maternity leave as part of our... I'm sorry.
Yeah. Paid paternity leave?
No.
Nothing?
Definitely not.
Bummer. Why did I have this job anyways?
I didn't know you considered it a job. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
I
work.
thought you were just doing this for fun.
Was I? Am I? Is this fun?
Is it?
I don't know.
We thought it'd be fun to share Logan's birth story with everyone. Because, I mean, if you think about it, like, this podcast is about the OC, but it's mostly just about us.
And now we'll just have the story recorded for us to have.
It'd be fun. And then when he's 16 years old, he can go back and listen to it and be super embarrassed
if he wants to.
All the gross stuff we talked about.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about having a baby. Because that's a thing that happened.
It happened.
Where do we begin?
I don't know. That was my question. Do you want to like start on that Friday because that's when I had to go get my COVID test? Or do
let's
you want to start?
So I guess we'll start generally by saying you were induced. We did not
Our due date was March the 20th.
Yeah.
And we had an induction scheduled for after in the event that I did not go into what they call spontaneous labor. Mm-hmm. I did not go into spontaneous labor.
That didn't happen. It was not like in the movies
with all of the things that I tried.
Just walking through the mall and then like, oh, my water broke. Which apparently that doesn't happen to most people anyway. The movies, here's the thing you're going to learn.
Apparently, my water, they didn't even know it broke.
The thing you're going to learn throughout this conversation is that childbirth is not even close to what the movies say it is. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So because you were getting induced. We'll go back
to Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I was getting induced, which meant I was going into the hospital for elective surgery, I guess. Elective procedure. And they knew when I was coming in, I had to get a COVID test because, we're in a pandemic still. Mm-hmm. So on Friday, I had to actually work from home because if you have a COVID test out, you're not allowed to go in to work. So,
which, to be fair, makes a lot of sense.
Is reasonable. So anyways, on Friday, I was working from home and I had to go get the nose swab, and that was awful. And if you've ever had it done, well, I had to get the PCR test, which is not the rapid, that's more reliable, that actually goes up the nose. And when I was talking to the lady, I was like, I've had the flu test before. And she said, this is not like the flu. This is more than the flu. It goes all the way up. And she said, the best way that I can describe it is if you've ever snorted or accidentally had chlorine water go up your nose when you're swimming, that's what it feels like.
I thought you were about to say if you ever accidentally snorted cocaine. And I was like, yes, Miss Nurse.
I can identify. No. Anyways, but that is exactly the feeling that it was, and it stayed there for a very long time, and it was awful. But I was negative, no COVID for me, hooray, which was good because that meant that whenever we went to the hospital on Sunday, Scott was allowed to leave the room.
Yeah. It's actually funny because I didn't have to take the test.
No, but
the test results benefited me, not you.
Yeah.
Because if you had tested positive for COVID, then I would have been locked in the delivery room with you the whole time. I would not have been able to leave and do anything at all. And I would have gone insane.
Yeah. Well, you'd only left once anyways.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay, so that was Friday, and all weekend, well, really after I had the test, they told us to quarantine and not to do anything, but I didn't really do that.
Kind of cheated.
But anyways.
I mean, it's not like we were like running around with masks off at like a baseball game or anything. We just went for walks.
Well, and then we went to dinner.
We were trying to get that baby out.
Yeah, we were trying to get the baby out.
We ate outside at dinner. It's fine.
We did. With people that had been vaccinated.
Yes.
Anyway, so we'll get there. We were walking. We were walking a lot trying to get the baby out.
Not working.
Not working. Nope. We were eating the spicy foods. We were, what else? All the old wives' tales. We were doing those, trying to get labor to start, and it just didn't. Saturday, which was the due date, we decided we were going to continue those. So we took a very long walk. We walked all the way down to Starbucks. It's like, I mean, I guess it's not super long. It's 3 miles round trip, but we took the dogs. Nothing happened. We have some friends that live nearby that then we went and we walked to the same place to meet them to have some dinner, walked back. So walked upwards of 6 miles that day.
It was close to 8. This is a lot.
Nothing. Not even nothing.
This kid.
Yeah.
This kid.
So anyways, we made it past that day and we made it to Sunday. So woke up on Sunday, realized that was the last day. It was just going to be us two. I think we had breakfast. Did we have breakfast on Saturday or on Sunday?
We did on Sunday. It's a wild.
Had breakfast.
It's a wild feeling. It's like a wild feeling to wake up and go, oh, most life changes are life changes that like are unanticipated. You don't know exactly
when they're
going to happen, and like it's just wild to wake up in the morning and go, oh, this is it. This is the last morning we're going to wake up in our house.
And it's just us two.
With just the two of us.
Yep. We had that moment, though.
Yeah, we did.
And so we celebrated by going to breakfast, or mourned, whichever you want to call it. But we had breakfast, and then later that day, my parents took care of the dogs. So we went and we dropped off the puppies. We met them, and then we got some coffee. We got some salads. We got our bags, and Scott... We went to the hospital that evening.
So yeah, the weird thing is you were scheduled for an induction the 22nd, Monday morning. But for whatever reason, they make you go into the hospital the night before. So we went into the hospital Sunday night at like 5 o'clock.
Well, they're scheduling the Pitocin drug. So that's the actual induction because that's the drug that would cause contractions to cause labor.
Yeah.
So before that, they give you a different drug called Cytotec, which primes your cervix. Mm-hmm. And so that is what they gave on Sunday.
Sure. So we went in. So here's the thing that no one tells you, or I guess some people tell you. It's a lot of waiting. So we got in Sunday at 5. Mm-hmm. They gave you the first round of the drug at 6-ish. After we're all checked in, you go right into the room. It's the same delivery room. Like, you don't get moved to a different room, so you're in the room. No bed for me. No bed.
No.
I had a little mini couch that was like 4 feet long at most. I'm 6'2", so that was fun. They gave you the drug at like 6, and then they're like, okay, your next dose is in 4 hours. Bye. And then they just left. And so there's just nothing to do. So you watch TV and laid in bed. I read a book. We had a book club coming up. I read my entire book club book while just sitting in the hospital waiting. So nothing happens. There's nothing that happens between 6 and 10, right?
Well, Scott, we forgot that I've never been in the hospital before, and I've never had an IV before either. But we know, I think that I've shared with you guys before, that I don't do well with having blood drawn, so I didn't anticipate my IV going well. And so I told the nurse that I typically pass out from giving blood, and I did get lightheaded and almost pass out when they put my IV in.
That is true.
That was the very first thing.
It's a fun way to start.
It was a fun way to start.
But it all went okay. You got the IV in.
Yeah.
And then we hung out for 4 hours. 10 o'clock came. A little bit of progress.
There were contractions. I just couldn't feel them.
Yeah,
we could see them on the monitor.
Y'all, this stuff is cool as shit. They hook you up to a thing where one measures the baby's heartbeat. So you look up at the screen and you can see what the baby's heartbeat is the whole time.
Which Scott had
and
never
you can even
really
hear
gotten
it, which
to
is the
hear.
first time in this whole pregnancy I've been able to hear the baby's heartbeat. And then the other thing measures your contractions with it's just a little wave. And when the wave spikes, that's you having a contraction. And both those things were hooked up to you until the baby came.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
10 o'clock comes. No real progress. Give you another dose of the drug. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
See you at 2 a.m.
Yep.
And so nothing happened.
Nothing
again.
happens. I can't remember if I started to feel. I don't even think I started to feel anything then.
No, you didn't.
No.
2 a.m. comes.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a little progress. We'll give you the third dose of the drug. Bye. We'll see you at 6 a.m. I have not slept at all at this point. You fell asleep a little bit.
I have slept off and on.
Yeah.
My IV was very uncomfortable, but I slept off and on. And yeah.
Flash forward to 4:15-ish.
4:45.
4:45 in the morning.
Right before 5 o'clock.
I have finally fallen asleep for 20 minutes. But Elyse wakes me up.
I wake up because I am in pain.
Uh-oh.
Because I don't know what contractions are, but this hurts. And I didn't want to be alone and having to go through the pain by myself. So I wake up Scott.
Good call.
So that he could be there with me.
Now, I want you to explain as best you can what a contraction feels like. Because
I think I explained it to you. I don't remember what I said. I think it was like how your stomach was when you want to go to the bathroom, but you can't.
The way you explained it.
What did I say?
The way you explained it to me that I think got my understanding. It's like if you have like a really bad stomach ache, like your stomach feels awful, and you're like sitting on the toilet trying to go to the bathroom to make your stomach feel better, but it's just not happening,
and it continues to twist,
and like because. Bad stomach aches come in waves too, where it's like your stomach will settle down and then like a wave will hit you where your stomach's just like, where your body's just like trying to get out all this crap that's making it feel bad. So I think that's, when you explained that to me, I was like, oh, that's awful. That sucks.
Yeah, it was that, but then it was like that, they turn it while it's like, imagine feeling that pain and then imagine someone twisting your stomach while you're feeling that pain.
So it's like that's the same kind of pain, but like that elevated.
Yeah, it was not fun.
So you were going through contractions at this point. It was, you hadn't even had the drug that's supposed to bring about contractions, but there is happening.
Yeah. Well, and that was supposed to happen at 6, and they were supposed to come in and check me at 6. So I was like, I'll make it till 6, and then that's when the Pitocin's going to come.
Yeah.
And when that happens, that's when I get the epidural. Because as soon as the Pitocin comes, the contractions start really heavy and hard, is what I had heard. And so I was like, these aren't heavy and hard contractions because I haven't gotten the Pitocin yet. But was what I had told myself.
Right, but we didn't know.
I was wrong.
We had no idea.
Yeah.
And like,
I was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it turns out you were in active labor.
Yeah.
Like super active labor, and we had no idea. So your contractions were not just like pre-labor. Like they were like, holy crap, ow.
It was really painful.
Yeah. But you lasted till like 5:40.
Yeah, and at that point I said, I need the drugs.
Give me some drugs.
I need to know what my options are. So the night nurse came in and I said, I'm feeling a lot of pain. I need to know what I can do. She did the
1 to 10 thing, which I hate that. I hate that question because I'm the type of person that I would both be like terrified about being too honest and then like giving too high of a number when it wasn't, but also I would never know what to give. I think you said you were at like an 8. You were in a lot of pain.
I was in a lot of pain. Well, and for me, like, I'm not going to say I'm a 10 unless I've experienced the worst thing ever. And I don't know if I've experienced that ever. So I'm never really going to say I'm a 10 unless I'm like actively, I have something protruding from my body.
Like your arm fell off.
Yeah. So the fact that I said an 8, that was pretty substantial. Anyway, so she was like, well, I can give you this stuff in your IV and then I'll go ahead and order the epidural, but you have to have a bag of IV liquids before we can give it to you. So it's like, okay.
Because, yeah, the epidural can really flush out liquids real bad.
Well, your blood pressure.
Yeah.
It's the blood pressure.
Yeah.
Which I have low blood pressure typically. Normal, but extremely low. And
it takes like 30 minutes.
An hour.
It takes an hour to give you the IV bag drip.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
Had I known that, I would have had them come in and give me that at 5.
Yeah.
But whatever. Hindsight.
They give you the drug. It takes a little bit of the edge off, but it's like
not enough.
It's like not designed to make the pain go away.
No.
6 o'clock rolls in. Shift change happens. Our new nurse, Angela's
the
angel.
Yes.
Comes in.
We'll call her Angela.
You tell her what your pain is, and she's like,
"We're gonna get this bag in you faster."
So she hooks up, like, there's a machine that can actually just like accelerate the drip of the bag. So she hooks that up, and it's like, "We're getting this done in 20 minutes."
It's almost like that blood pressure cuff on the IV bag. So she just like pressurizes this liquid into me so that it's faster.
Yeah. So what should have taken an hour takes like 20 minutes, and the bag's in you. Epidural guy's coming.
Landon comes. Landon, I knew I was going to like Landon because he had the Star Wars little hat thing on.
The little cap. Yeah.
Yeah, little cap.
And so I'm trying to remember. I guess let's explain what an epidural is for people that maybe don't know, because it's not like a pill you take. It's not a shot that they shoot into your IV.
And you know what? Let me just let everybody know, because this was something that I, had to learn during the whole 9 months. So yes, the epidural, it's not a shot. It's not something that goes into your IV. It is something that goes into your spine.
Directly into your spine.
And stays there until you're done with labor.
Yeah. It's basically continuous. It's an IV drip, basically, directly into your spine that continuously pumps numbing medication into your spine that basically numbs your entire bottom half.
Now, here's something else that you have to consider when you have that. So your bottom half is numb, which is great because you're going to be having labor, and so it takes away the pain. But when your bottom half is numb, your legs don't work. And how do you know if you have to go to the bathroom, Scott?
You don't.
You don't. So when you get an epidural, you have to get a catheter.
Yep.
Didn't know that until I was researching epidural. I knew that obviously before I went in the hospital, but now people know.
So they hook up the epidural for you. It's probably 6:30. They've also looked at you and said, hey, you're obviously you were having contractions. Your labor has progressed enough. We're not going to give you the Pitocin. You're in labor. But they weren't like, the baby's coming. They're like,
no, it was like what, 3 centimeters?
I think you were up to 6 or 7 by then, but like,
anyways.
Baby coming is 10.
Yeah.
And so you get the epidural in, everything seems to be working fine. The pain is already starting to go away for you.
No, the pain, the epidural was in. We thought that the pain was going to start going away. She was getting me situated, and they were like showing me everything. So Scott was like, it's good.
I thought we had
Scott,
hours left.
Yeah.
I thought we had hours left.
Yeah, because epidurals are supposed to slow the whole process.
Right. So I went to Starbucks.
Yeah.
There's a Starbucks in the hospital. I went to Starbucks. I got myself a coffee and breakfast. I couldn't get anything for you because that's another thing.
I'm not allowed to eat.
Since we walked in that hospital Sunday night,
clear.
you can't have anything. So I went to Starbucks. It was in the hospital. I thought I was going to be really quick. There were only 3 people in line in front of me. They were nurses getting drinks for their entire team. So they were each getting like 8 drinks each and food. And so it took a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of freaking out a little bit.
Well, meanwhile, I'm freaking out too because my epidural's not working and I'm in a lot of pain. And before he left, Landon was like, when the baby comes, you're still going to feel some pressure down by your pelvis. It's going to feel like you are going to the bathroom or like you need to go to the bathroom, but that's normal. But it shouldn't hurt. You should just feel some pressure. Well, mine, I felt pressure and it really hurt. And I was like, this is not right. I'm still in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And so I called the nurse back and I told her I was still in a lot of pain. And she was like, well, have you pressed the button? And I pressed the button and it wasn't working.
So the button there's a button on the epidural thing that injects more medicine into you.
Yeah.
But of course it has a safety
Yeah,
clasp
it's not
on
going to
it.
inject more
You can
than-
only inject like 1 per hour.
Yeah.
And then it won't. Now they can come in and override that manually and give you as much drug as you want.
Which they did.
Yes.
Because it wasn't working. And so he came in and gave me like some booster of something. And
Yeah.
at that point, everything was much better.
And I just want to say this. At that point, the pain goes away. The contraction pain.
Oh, yeah.
It's just gone, right? You don't
Yeah.
feel it at all.
I don't
That's the
feel
thing I
anything.
didn't know. I thought the epidural would just like cut off the top end of the pain. But he was like, my goal for your pain level is to get you down to a 0 or a 1. It's like, oh, okay. So I come back in with my Starbucks, and you're in the middle of being in a lot of pain. I'm like, oh my God, oh no. And then like right after I get back, she comes in and goes, oh, you're 10 centimeters. I got to get the doctor. So then the doctor comes in and says, yep, you're good to go. It's push time. And so it's 9 something at this point. I think it's a little before 9, I think. And I was like, holy shit, this is happening really fast. Neither of us expected us to happen this fast.
No.
So then we start doing the push deal, which I just want to explain something for those out there that have not had children. There is just a thing you think that's going to happen, which is that you're going to be up front with your wife by her head, and there's going to be like a sheet or a curtain, and everything going down there, you're not going to see. That's not how it works.
That's what they do on TV, but that's just because TV can't show what really happens.
That's not how it works. You're
There's no
right
curtain.
there. There's no curtain. Even if I was up by your head, which I was when the final pushes happened, you can see everything. There's no avoiding that. The only person who cannot see anything that's going on down there
Is me.
is Elyse.
Unless I wanted a mirror, to which I said no.
So, I mean, but not only did it's such a wild experience because the doctor doesn't come until the very end.
Yeah, all they do is come and catch the baby.
So, and when they sew you up and do all that stuff. Yeah. So it's you and the nurse, you and the delivery nurse, and me in the room. And it took about, from the time you were ready to go to the time the baby came, was about an hour and
20 minutes.
20 minutes. And so it's just the 3 of you. And the contractions only happen every 5 minutes or so.
Mine were 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They normally are like every 2.
But so it's just a lot of sitting around and like chatting while I can see my son poking his head out of your vagina. It's just kind of wild. Like, and the other thing was, because you were numb from the epidural, like before they put you in the stirrups, like when it came time to push, the nurse would pick up one leg, I would pick up the other leg, and we were just holding your legs up while you were pushing.
Thanks.
It's just, I mean, like, it's just not what you expect. Like, it's just like, it was just like very casually small talk for an hour and something with this nurse who was very friendly and very nice. And then every 5 minutes, you would push really hard for about a minute, and then the baby would come a little ways out, and then you would stop pushing, and he'd go whoop, back up in, and it's just that repeated and with small incremental progress each time. And then we just talk about random stuff for 4 minutes and then do it all over again.
Yep.
And you, my dear,
Yes, Scott.
you were a rock star.
Oh, thank you. You have nothing to compare me to, but I appreciate that.
See, that's the thing though, is I do have the nurse who does this every single day, multiple times per day. And she's like, so you're hooked up to the machines too, as along with the baby. And so your heart rate is being monitored, and your heart rate is like chilling at like 70 something. And like, the thing is that the pushing is like hard work. Like you're going all out for a minute, basically pushing as hard as you can. And your heart rate would like, man, maybe it hit a 80 and then just go, you weren't sweating. Like you were just like very chill. Like, okay, let's push.
Well, I have my epidural.
I'm done pushing. Yeah, but I mean, even with the epidural, I still feel like just like the nurse was like, I just can't, you must be in really good shape. I can't believe it. So you're just like really casual. Like there's no screaming. There's no yelling. The only time in the whole process you got mad at me was before you had the epidural.
Yeah.
When you were just like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is your fault.
It just hurt really, really bad.
Yeah. But that was it. And so the hour and 20 minutes comes, and then baby starts crowning. Doctor comes in, and then 10:18, bloop.
Baby born.
He just bloops out.
Yep.
And let me tell you,
Thankfully, he was less than 8 pounds.
he was 7 pounds, 8 ounces.
7,
he's
8,
now
yep.
almost 10 pounds. A month later, he's almost 10 pounds.
We got an eater.
And it was done. They did all the thing. I got to cut the umbilical cord, which was, they gave me righty scissors, and I'm a left-handed person. So I was like, it's already like really rubbery and awkward, but it was very difficult to cut. I was not having a good time cutting it. And that was it. And then they did skin to skin time with you. They gave you the baby right away.
Yep.
And then I proceeded to, like, for the next hour, like, frantically try to text
Everybody. You did a good job.
You had given a list, but it was still like I would text one person. Like, I was going through an order, so I started with our families, but then like your family would text your aunts and uncles, and then they would text asking for updates, and I hadn't texted them, and I was like, it was just really frantic and trying to get everyone. And
You did good though.
but I mean, I'm not complaining like that. If my role in this whole thing was significantly easier.
Yeah,
And
it was.
And then there's a baby. And
Now there's a baby. Now he's sleeping right now.
He was awesome. He was holding his head up, like his neck was able to hold his head up from birth, which is something that they were very surprised about. They measured him a perfect 10. They do like
An APGAR?
Yeah, they do it's called an APGAR test, where they
it was
basically
APGAR.
just do like, it's like a spot check for all the things like color.
They do it, at 1 minute after you're born, and then 5. His
Yeah.
1 minute was a 9, and his 5 minute was a 10.
Yes, perfect 10. So he's perfect. He's wonderful, lovely baby boy.
Yep.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And then
we were in the hospital, and we decided we wanted to leave the next day because we thankfully were able to make that decision.
Yeah. So normally you have to say 2 nights after the birth of a child. And he was born, 10 o'clock in the morning. So we would have had to say 2 entire days basically. And we had already spent 1 night, and we did not want to do that.
No.
And night 2 for us, which was night 1 with the baby, was not any more comfortable. It was also like
we were in a different room. You had a slightly bigger couch.
I had a slightly bigger couch. But the other thing, in all the movies and stuff, they take the baby away, and the baby sleeps in the nursery, and like they'll come bring the baby to mom when the baby needs to eat. But then they'll mostly keep it. They didn't do that. They left the baby with us. And so it was like crash course in taking care of a baby. I mean, we could call the nurse if we needed things, but at that second night, I was so ready to go home. So I'm so glad they did his 24-hour check, like at 11 the next day, and then
they let us go.
And then I think at 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
3 o'clock we left.
We were home in time for dinner, which was good.
And that was Wednesday. No, Tuesday. Tuesday. We were home. Yeah, by 3:45 on Tuesday, and then we just kind of had to figure out how to take care of a human.
Yeah, he slept a lot the first day, which was nice.
It was so nice. Yeah. And then the first 3 days, I think, were he slept a lot the first day. He slept a pretty good amount the next 2 days. It wasn't until Friday or Saturday that oh wait, this is not gonna be easy. Really hit us. But it's going.
We're
okay.
working on it.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
It'll get easier, and then it'll get harder.
And then it'll get easier, and then it'll get
he'll
harder.
go to college.
And that's the whole thing. He's sleeping right now. We've actually recorded we've been talking for almost 30 minutes, and he's been asleep the whole time. So that's nice. We don't even have to do some magic of editing tricks.
Yeah.
So what was you're going to look back on this experience. What are you going to remember the most from the birthing?
The epidural didn't work. And then it worked.
That must have been scary because you were
it hurt really bad.
Well, and not just that it hurt bad, but you were looking at this thing as the solution. It was hurting bad before. You get the epidural. It's okay, this is going to fix everything. And then suddenly it's not.
It was something was wrong.
Yeah.
And I could tell something was wrong. And that was what.
Also, it turned out that the way the baby was hanging out in you, he was cinching your bladder.
Yeah.
And so you had an entirely full bladder that was not draining until he came out, which we didn't know about. So that was the other pain you were feeling, is that your bladder was totally full.
Yeah.
Wild, guys.
Yeah.
Just absolutely wild.
What about you, Scott? What are you going to remember?
I mean, like him coming out was an experience. Like I know like people talk about, oh, I never want to see that. And was it gross? Yeah, it was really gross, but it was also really cool. It was really cool. It's amazing how it works. He just bloops out, and then he's crying.
Just bloop.
He just blooped out. I mean, the weirdest part for me was
I can tell you, it didn't feel like just a bloop, but it's fine.
I mean, but like I could see a little piece of his head coming out for a long time. There was a little piece of his head, and I thought that was all of his head, but it was just a little tiny bit of his head. And then I was like, oh fuck, that must have hurt, because he's really big. Even like 2 days later, we were just looking at him and like, this came out of you. How does that happen? It's wild. Yeah. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything went well. Like he was facing the right direction. He was like, everything went smooth.
It's true.
I think there was like one point in the process where his heart rate dipped a little bit.
But that was when it was like normal.
The baby's heart rate tends to dip like as they get into the birth canal and they leave the uterus. Yeah. But there was one point where she was like, I might be a little worried about this, but then it was fine. Yeah. It was great. It was good. It was great.
Textbook, but no pictures.
Yeah. Elyse, for some crazy reason, agreed to be, this is a teaching hospital, so she agreed that if everything went textbook, they could take pictures and use it in textbooks. But they didn't do that. No. They did have, there was a training nurse that came in.
She did a good job.
She was very, I mean, like, it's got to be scary, you know? You're like,
her teacher was intense. Yeah. She came in with her. It's like, man, the nurse that you're shadowing is really nice and helpful, and your teacher's, man, hardcore.
Yeah. But no, it was good. It was a good experience.
Yeah.
No complaints.
Done it once, don't have to do it again.
I'm not going to say anything because I know the rules about this.
What are the rules?
That I'm not allowed to talk about other babies for at least 3 months.
3 months?
3 months.
Okay.
No, it's been going very well. And he's a joy. He's a joy of a kid. I mean, it's interesting because like we're just about to hit a month. And while I love this kid dearly, it's kind of like an animal, right? He's not gotten to the point. His eyes don't really work very well right now still. He doesn't smile. He's not really a person quite yet. Like we're just not there yet. Like
we don't see his personality yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have
the cute little dimples.
He doesn't have the ability to show personality yet. None of the human aspects of him have come out, because basically like this first month is basically, I was talking to my friend about this. It's basically the fourth trimester, right? It's basically our heads are too freaking big to fit through the birth canal, so we have to come out before we're even close to being ready. And so the first month, the first 6 weeks really, is really just finishing touches on becoming a human. And so anytime within the next couple of weeks, his eyes are finally going to start working beyond 6 inches. He's finally going to be able to like smile socially. Like his tear ducts will start working, and he'll just start becoming a person. And we're really excited about that. I think it's going to be really cool.
It'll be fun.
But that's all. That's all for the birth story of Logan. Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
We're going to be back. I don't know when. I think I said May is we're going to try to come back with season 4 of the OC.
Okay.
I'm not going to write that in stone yet, but I think we're going to try to come back in May. So if you're anxiously awaiting the final 16 episodes of The Orange County, we'll be back in May-ish timeframe.
And if you're just so desperate to listen to the OC stuff without having our podcast.
Are you about to plug another podcast?
I am, because I'm upset.
Are you going to plug those bitches?
Yes. Rachel Bilson and Melinda Clark.
Julie Cooper.
Summer and Julie Cooper are doing a podcast about the OC now because they listened to ours.
Yeah.
And they were like, we can't let these people do a podcast about our show.
But they were like, we're famous, so we can do like interviews with cast and crew and me. I called them bitches not because that's the name of the...
Yeah, welcome to the OC bitches.
Yeah. Really creative guys.
Yeah.
Julie Cooper. Back on my shit list. But no, we'll be back in a few weeks. So that's it. We just want to do this fun bonus podcast just to let y'all know that we're doing good. Logan is doing good. And it was a hell of an experience that we won't be doing again anytime soon.
Nope.
But that is all for that is all we have for you this week. You take 3 weeks off and you don't.
Yeah. But if you are just wanting to listen to some other Doof shows, you can go on over to doofmedia.com. Check out all the other shows and podcasts that are still going on every week, such as the Doofcast.
Yep.
You've got Kingslingers.
About to wrap up season 1 of Kingslingers in a couple weeks.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Pale Reflections.
Pale Reflections. That's what I was trying to think of. Yes.
Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing. I was going to say for Doofcast, you guys are starting a new director series.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Gore Verbinski.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm going to watch the first movie with you called Mouse Hunt, which is something that I watched in my childhood and I have a very fond memory of. So anyways, all that's going on, but also you can consider donating to our Patreon over at patreon.com/doofmedia. That is where we are able to get money so that we can do things like rent these movies to watch for Doofcast.
And to send Logan to college.
No, that's not what we use it for.
The Logan College Fund has been started.
For things like book club so that we can purchase the books for book club. So like there's a lot of things that go towards that we use the money for Patreon towards so that we can continue to put out the shows that you guys listen to. But if you can't give, that's fine too. You can also write a review over on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars only. Thank you.
I mean, you can write as many stars as you want, but you'll make us sad. And we're new parents. We can't be sad. Yeah, it's very exhausting.
I'm already on hormone watch. And so don't do anything that could make me sad or angry.
Watch.
I guess Scott's on hormone watch.
Yeah. I'm on reception of hormones.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's all we got.
We'll see you guys in a few weeks. Enjoy your lives.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, now he's waking up. Perfect timing, Logan.